Wyoming head coach Jay Sawvel. Coach, how we doing?
Good, good. Excited to be here.
Exciting to be here, and I feel like an exciting time for you as you enter year two out in Laradice for the Wyoming Cowboys. Just not the greatest year last year for you guys. I know you want to improve, win loss results, but you just talk to me about the optimism heading into 2025. Seems like you guys got some new personnel groupings, and talking with your guys yesterday, a lot of confidence.
Yeah, last year, you can't hide from the fact that we underachieved the standard. It didn't play the way that we needed to throughout the course of the year. There is a lot of optimism right now, and we have an optimism for that is the fact that we kept a number of our top players, okay, which was the first step to it. We felt like that, we have good players in certain areas, and we needed to keep those, and we were able to do that. The second part to it was we had a number of players that were playing for us a year ago that needed another year of development. We had quite a few redshirt freshmen playing for us in certain spots, certain key spots, and the development that they've had through another year of off season and weight room and all that has shown, and so there's improvement there. The third thing is that I realized that we needed to build more depth and competition in our roster. We've added 46 players from last year, and we've really added a range of players that fit very well in the program, very well within what we need to do, bring a maturity level, bring a toughness level, bring a size and physicality level to them that all makes a big difference in it. And so those are the reasons that we sit there and say, okay, there's an optimism, is the fact that we're a substantially different football team than what we were this time a year ago.
Sure. You guys, retooling some things at the quarterback position. Kaden Anderson, had some good games for himself, at the QB1 spot last year in the back half of the season. Just talk to me about his development, and what have you seen most grow from him as, he blossoms into the full-time role here?
Well, I think, first of all, when Kaden first got to Wyoming, he was coming off an ACL injury in high school. And, so he redshirted his first year. And then even into like last summer, he was just getting himself, physically back to where he wanted to be. Right now, he's physically well above and beyond anything he's been since he's been at Wyoming. Feels great, looks great. Really excited about, the season about to start and that type of thing. But also, the better that he's feeling, the better that he's doing in it all. He's created more and more confidence in himself. He's already a confident person and a confident player, but and then everybody in the program looks to him as they trust him. They understand that he's a good player, and so we're excited about Kaden going forward. There's a dramatic change between where Kaden was from a physical standpoint now and where he was a year ago or 18 months ago.
Evan Svoboda, he was former quarterback. Now he's at the tight end position. Just talk to me about that transition. As obviously, a drastic change. How has he handled that, and how has he kind of fit into what you guys are trying to do here?
Yeah. So Evan, first kind of crossed the idea with me at the end of last year when we had made the move to put Kaden at quarterback, and I thought, okay, this is a good idea, and we need to do this. And after the season was over, he and I had a talk, and he was going to be full bore, sold out to it. Evan Svoboda has an NFL body,
yep.
Right? And he wants to play in the NFL. And okay, quarterback didn't work out, so now let's turn our attention to this. And you're talking about, he did very well with it in the spring. He's got very good hands. He's a very fast athlete. This is a guy that's over 22 miles an hour at top end speed. He's 250 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's a very good athlete. and he's learning the position. I think there's a real upside for him, even beyond Wyoming, because he's so new at it. But no, he'll be a big factor for us this year. We're that tight end room is a really good room at Wyoming right now, so we're
no
fortunate
doubt.
with that.
Yeah, you're heading into year 2, and in your role as the head coach, you've been in the pipeline, just in this program for quite some time, as an assistant, last year the Mountain West as we know it, which means you're not going to get the same traditional matchups, and obviously the rivalry game, the border war between you guys and Colorado State. This might be the last time we see it for the long-term future. Just talk to me about that matchup. Obviously, it means a lot. It's over a century old, and we might not get that anymore. Just how do you feel about just that aspect of it? Just given all the landscape changes.
Yeah, I'm a traditionalist in a lot of sense, and I don't like that. I mean, I get concerned over, okay, that game needs to continue, and that game it's a real thing. That game needs to be played. And not all change is for the good.
Yep.
Okay. And so, look, I'm fortunate and honored that we're still a member of the Mountain West, and we'll be going forward. Same with San Jose and the whole thing that way. I just, I don't look and view the changes that are happening within the conferences. Like, I don't, in either situation, like, I don't, that's not progress, in that regard. That's my opinion.
Sure. Last one for you on the way out. You get San Jose State in Laradiced this year. You played them in San Jose. You've kind of gotten a taste of that spread and shred offense and that scheme and what it's about. I mean, just talk to me about the difficulties of game planning it, because there's not necessarily one designated guy. It's a plethora of guys. You've game planned it for before. Just talk to me about the difficulties of the Spartans.
Yeah, well, they're very good with what they do. They've got a sound system. Quarterback is a good player that he knows where he wants to go with the ball. They're very well schooled and fundamental because of where they are formationally and how far spread out certain things are. That you're not in a disguised look. A lot of things become pretty clear, and so there's a lot of little things to it. They're actually a team that I've spent time working on through the course of the summer, even when we don't play them till our 6th game of the year.
Yep.
And it's because of the fact that there's a little bit of a uniqueness to them, and in that, but it's also like it's going to be a very important game for both programs when we get to that. And so, Coach Ken does a great job with the program, and so we have a tremendous amount of respect for them. And really, in recent history, Wyoming hasn't had a lot of success with San Jose, so that's a big piece to it too, and we got to try to figure out a way to change that.
Well, best of luck this season out in Laradise. The altitude will definitely be to your advantage, and best of luck out there.
All right, I appreciate it.